Hello friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel ABK Smart Study. So today we will discuss the final part, that is part 8 of our lecture series, that is mechanical engineering subject thermodynamics and their objectives. So in previous 7 part we have to studied up to 150 plus important questions which are always asked in any technical exam. So today we will discuss again the important 20 plus questions. So keep watching and let us start our final video. So let us start the question 1 of the today's lecture. So question 1 is, work done in an adiabatic process between a given pair of end state depends on. So work done in adiabatic process between a given pair of end state depends on option A, end states only, option B, particular adiabatic process, option C, value of index N, and option D, value of heat transfer. So work done in adiabatic process depends on only end states, that is which is given in option A, that is end state only. So work done in adiabatic process between a given pair of end states depends on end states only. So here option 1A is the correct answer. Next question. When a liquid boils at constant pressure, which of the following parameter increases? So this question is asked in HAL exam. So when a liquid boils at constant pressure, which of the following parameter increases? So parameters are A, temperature, B, heat at vaporization, C, kinetic energy, and D, entropy. So here when a liquid boils at constant pressure, then its entropy will be increases. So when a liquid boils at constant pressure, so entropy of that liquids increases. So here option D is the correct answer, that is entropy increases when liquid boils at constant pressure. Next question. A house requires 60 millicalorie per hour in winter for heating, that is 60 megacalorie per hour in winter for heating. So heat pump absorb heat from cold air outside and require 8 millicalorie per hour work, then the COP will be. So we know COP is equal to Q upon W, that is COP of heat pump Q upon W. So here Q is given 60 and W is given 8. So COP is equal to 60 upon 8, that is which is equal to 7.5. So COP of heat pump absorb heat from cold air outside and require 8 millicalorie of work, then COP will be 7.5. So here option C, that is 7.5 is the correct answer. Next question. Next question depends on previous problem, that is if the house in the above problem, that is house in the above problem is to be cooled and heat requirement of house are same and work to be done is also 8 mcalorie per hour, then COP will be. So this question asked in BHEL exam. So this is important question and which depend on previous question. So in previous question Q is given that 60 mcalorie per hour, but here heat requirement of house are same and work to be done is also mcalorie per hour. So total heat requirement is equal to 60 minus 8 is equal to 52 mcalorie, and heat requirement of house are 52 mcalorie. So COP will be again, COP will be equal to Q upon W, but here Q is given that 52. So 52 divided by 8 is equal to 6.5. So if the house in the above problem is to be cooled and heat requirement of house are same and work to be done is also 8 mCal per hour, then COP will be 6.5. So which is given in option B. So here option B 6.5 is the correct answer. Next question. The equation TdS is equal to dV plus PdV can be applied to process which are. So which process this equation is applied? So options are only reversible process, option B only irreversible process, option C both reversible or irreversible process, and option D none of the above. So we know equation TdS is equal to dV plus PdV is applied to reversible or irreversible both process. So here option C applied to reversible or irreversible process, that is equation TdS is equal to dV plus PdV, which is applied to reversible or irreversible process. So here option C is the correct answer. Next question. So here availability function is expressed as, options are phi u is equal to u plus p0v minus t0s, option B phi is equal to du plus p0dv minus t0ds, option C phi is equal to u plus p0dv plus t0ds, and option D phi is equal to u plus p0v plus t0s. So availability function is expressed as phi is equal to u plus p0v minus t0s, which is given in option A. So availability function is expressed in option A, that is phi is equal to u plus p0v minus t0s. So here option A is the correct answer. Next question. Here a triple point. So triple point means, options are ice on heating becomes superheated vapor, option B solid, liquid and vapor coexist, option C ice occupies maximum specific volume, and option D liquid, water, dry, saturated steam coexist. So we know at triple point solid, liquid and vapor all three are coexist in one phase. So here option B at triple point solid, liquid and vapor are coexist. So here option B is the correct answer. Next question. With increase in pressure, boiling point of water. So what? With increase in pressure, then boiling point of water is what? Option A increases and enthalpy of evaporation increases. Option B increases and enthalpy of evaporation decreases. Option C decreases and enthalpy of evaporation increases, and option D none of the above. So with increase in pressure of boiling point of water, with increase in pressure of boiling point of water increases, its temperature increases and enthalpy of evaporation decreases, which is given in option B, that is temperature increases and enthalpy of evaporation decreases. So option B is the correct answer, that is when we boiling the pressure boiling point of water, with increase in pressure its temperature increases and enthalpy of evaporation decreases. So option B is the correct answer. Next question. With increase in pressure for water, enthalpy of dry saturated steam. So in previous problem water's enthalpy given, and now here for dry saturated steam. So with increase in pressure for water, enthalpy of dry saturated steam is decreases. So here option B is the correct answer, that is with increase in pressure for water, enthalpy of dry saturated steam is decreases. So here option B is the correct answer. Next question. In a certain amount of dry ice is mixed with same amount of water at 18 degrees Celsius, then the final temperature of mixture will be. So in certain amount of dry ice is mixed with same amount of water at 18 degrees Celsius, then its final temperature of mixture will be 0 degrees Celsius. So if a certain amount of dry ice is mixed with same amount of water at 18 degrees Celsius, then final temperature of mixture become 0. So which is given in option B. So here option B is the correct answer. Next question. The expression integration of PdV can be used for obtaining work of. So the expression integration of PdV used for obtaining work of what? So options are non-flow reversible process, option B steady flow reversible process, option C adiabatic irreversible process, and option D throttling process. So we know expression integration of PdV can be used for obtaining non-flow reversible process. So here option A, that is non-flow reversible process, is the correct answer. That is expression integration of P into dV can be used for obtaining work of non-flow reversible process. So option A is the correct answer. Next question. When a gas flows through a very long pipe of uniform cross section, then the flow of approximately. When a gas flows through a very long pipe with uniform cross section, then flow is approximately what? Option A isentropic, option B isobaric, option C isothermal, and option D adiabatic. When a gas flows through a long pipe with uniform cross section, then the flow is called as isothermal. That is constant temperature flow, which is called as isothermal. So here option C isothermal is the correct answer. Next question. Addition of heat at constant pressure to a gas results in. So addition of heat at constant pressure to a gas results in option A raising its temperature, option B raising its pressure, option C raising its volume, and option D raising its temperature and doing external work. So when addition of heat at constant pressure to a gas, which results in raising its temperature and doing external work. So option D is the correct. That is addition of heat at constant pressure to a gas results in raising its gas temperature and also doing external work. So option D is the correct answer. Next question. Total heat, that is the total heat of a substance, is also known as option A internal energy, option B entropy, option C thermal capacity, and option D enthalpy. So we know total heat of any substance is always equal to H, that is enthalpy. So here total heat of substance is also known as the enthalpy, which is given in option D. So here option D is the correct answer. That is total heat of substance is called as enthalpy. Next question. In a polytropic process, heat rejected is given by. So in a polytropic process, heat rejected is given by expression option A R divided by R minus 1 into work done on the system, option B R minus 1 N divided by R minus 1 into work done on the system, option C R minus N divided by R into work done on the system, and option C R minus N divided by N into work done on the system. So we know in polytropic process heat rejected is given by R minus N upon R minus 1 into work done on the system. that is which is given in option B, that is R minus N divided by R minus 1 into work done on the system, that is polytropic process heat rejected is given. So here option B is the correct answer. Next question. Carnot cycle efficiency is maximum when? So when the Carnot cycle efficiency is maximum? Option A, initial temperature is 0 degree Kelvin. Option B, final temperature is 0 degree Kelvin. Option C, difference between initial and final temperature is 0 degree Kelvin. And option D, final temperature is 0 degree Celsius. So we know Carnot cycle efficiency is equal to T1 minus T2 upon T1. So here T1 is initial temperature and T2 is final temperature. So when we put T2 is equal to 0, then efficiency is equal to T1 minus 0 upon T1 is equal to 100%. That is efficiency becomes maximum when final temperature T2 becomes 0. So here 0 degree Kelvin. So Carnot cycle efficiency is maximum when its final temperature is 0 degree Kelvin. So here option B, that is final temperature is 0 degree Kelvin, is the correct answer. Next question. According to Clausius statement. So here according to Clausius statement, option A, heat flows from hot substance to cold substance. Option B, heat flows from hot substance to cold substance unaided. Option C, heat cannot flow from cold substance to hot substance. And option D, none of the above. So we know according to Clausius statement, heat flows from hot substance to cold substance with unaided, means without the aid of external any work. Heat flows from always hot body to cold body, which states that Clausius statement. So here option B, that is heat flows from hot substance to cold substance is unaided, means without any aid. So this is the Clausius statement. So here option B is the correct answer. Next question. If Q is the heat transfer between hot temperature source and machine, and Q2 between cold temperature source and machine, then for heat pump COP will be equal to. So Q1 be the heat transfer between hot temperature source and machine, and Q2 be the between cold temperature source and machine. So here we know heat pump so heat pump, we know here Q1 is given and here Q2. So here is the atmosphere, and here is the body which maintained at high temperature, and here is the atmosphere. So here temperature T2, here temperature T1. So T1 is greater than T2. So here Q1 is greater than also Q2. So we know if Q1 is the heat transfer between hot temperature source and machine, that is here hot temperature source and machine, that is Q1. Then and Q2 is between cold temperature, that is between cold temperature and machine. Then the for COP of heat pump, we know COP of heat pump is Q1 divided by Q1 minus Q2, that is heat added to the heat transfer to the system, that is Q1 divided by work done. Work done is equal to Q1 minus Q2. So here option A, Q1 divided by Q1 minus Q2 is the COP of the heat pump. So here option A is the correct answer. Next question. So now in case of refrigeration machine, COP will be. So here we know for refrigeration machine options are Q2 divided by Q1 minus Q2. Option B, Q1 divided by Q1 minus Q2 is the COP of heat pump. So this is wrong. Option C, this is not. This is efficiency of heat engine. So this is also wrong, option C, and this is also wrong, option D. So here COP of refrigerator machine is equal to amount of heat absorbed divided by work done. So amount of heat absorbed given by Q2 divided by Q1 minus Q2. So which is given in option A. So here option A is the correct answer. That is Q2 divided by Q1 minus Q2 is the COP of refrigerator machine. Next question. Change in entropy for a heat transfer process is given by. So which process is given by change in entropy? So option A, delta H into T. Option B, delta H upon T. Option C, delta H upon delta T. And option D, T upon delta H. So we know COP is equal to delta H, that is how many change in internal energy, that is enthalpy per unit temperature, that is change in enthalpy per unit temperature, which expresses the entropy of the process. So which is given in option B, that is delta H upon T. So that is change of entropy, delta H by T. So here option B is the correct answer. Next question. A perpetual motion machine is. So what is means by perpetual motions? Option A, it is thermodynamic machine. Option B, it is a non-thermodynamic machine. Option C, it is a hypothetical machine. And option D, it is a hypothetical machine whose operation would violate the laws of thermodynamics. So we know a perpetual motion machine is one in which it is a hypothetical machine in which whose operation would violate the laws of the thermodynamics. So option D, that is a perpetual motion machine is one a hypothetical machine whose operation would violate the laws of thermodynamics. So here option D is the correct answer. Next question. The first law of thermodynamics is the law of. Option A is the law of conservation of mass. Option B is the law of conservation of energy. Option C is the law of conservation of momentum. And option D is the law of conservation of heat. So we know that the first law states that energy cannot be created and cannot be destroyed, but it can be transferred to one form to another. So that is only it depends on only conservation of energy. So first law depends on only first law of thermodynamics is the law of conservation of energy. So which is given in option B. So here option B is the correct answer. Next question. The air standard efficiency of Otto cycle is equal to. Option A. So Otto cycle efficiency is option A R raised to gamma minus 1 minus 1. Option B 1 minus R raised to gamma minus 1. Option C 1 minus 1 upon R upon gamma minus 1. And option D 1 upon R raised to gamma minus 1 minus 1. So where R is equal to compression ratio and gamma is equal to ratio of specific heat, that is Cp upon Cv, that is gamma. So here standard efficiency of Otto cycle is equal to 1 minus 1 upon Rk, means compression ratio raised to gamma minus 1. So which is given in option C, that is 1 minus 1 upon R raised to gamma minus 1. So here option C is the correct answer for Otto cycle efficiency. Next question. Maxwell's thermodynamics relations are applicable to. So Maxwell's thermodynamic relations are applicable to what? Option A for reversible process. Option B for irreversible process. Option C for mechanical system in equilibrium. and option D for chemical system in equilibrium. So Maxwell's thermodynamics relations are applicable to chemical system in equilibrium. So only used for chemical system in equilibrium, that is Maxwell's thermodynamic relation. So here option D, chemical system in equilibrium, is the correct expression for Maxwell's thermodynamic relations, which is applicable to chemical system in equilibrium. So here option D is the correct answer. Next question. The efficiency of Carnot cycle depends on. So we know efficiency of Carnot cycle is equal to T1 minus T2 upon T1. That is the efficiency of Carnot cycle. So here option A, working substance, option B, size of the engine, option C, type of fuel fired, and option D, temperature of source and sink. So here T1 and T2 are the temperatures of source and sink. So we know the Carnot cycle efficiency always depends on the temperatures of source and sink. So here option D, that is temperature of source and sink, is the correct answer, which is the efficiency of Carnot cycle depends. So here option D is the correct answer. Next question. So this is our last question of our lecture series and also last question of this video. If Tmax and Tminimum, if Tmax and Tminimum be the maximum and minimum temperatures in an Otto cycle, then for the ideal condition the temperature after compression should be. So in ideal condition, then the temperature after compression will be what? So here options are option A, Tmax plus Tminimum divided by 2, option B, under root of Tmax divided by Tminimum, option C, under root of Tmax into Tminimum, and option D, Tminimum plus Tmax minus Tminimum divided by 2. So here if Tmax and Tminimum be the maximum and minimum temperature in the Otto cycle, then the ideal condition, the temperature after compression will be under root of Tmax into Tminimum, which is given in option C, that is temperature after compression should be under root of Tmax into Tminimum. So here option C is the correct answer. So this is our last question of our last question of this lecture series and this video. So in previous we studied this 7th part and this is the 8th part and last part of video. So you should share this video to your friends and like and comment for any queries, and subscribe our YouTube channel ABK Smart Study and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.